Our neighbor's anxiety about the missing inhabitant prompted us to enter the unit. A seriously ill woman was located in a side bedroom. After seeing us, she said, "Oh, thank God," as I applied an oxygen mask across the bed. Her heavy, oppressive breath filled the air, heating me. I became unwell within 12 hours of this unexpected exposure. After being taken to the hospital, Nubain, a synthetic morphine, overwhelmed my already weakened system. These potent drugs hit very immediately, like a knockout punch. I suddenly found myself flying through space. The delight of this new life was pure and unbounded. Greetings, my name is Bill Len. I grew up playing water polo, surfing, and swimming on the California Central Coast. Camping beside the beach in nature was idyllic. I became interested in fire prevention and control after a CPO post-high school class sparked my passion. I encountered a major mountaintop fire on my way home from the beach. Due to urgency, I climbed the slope in board shorts and flip-flops and found a house on fire with a woman, her two small children, a dog, and several puppies inside. Even with my inadequate knowledge, I acted. The fire was diverted by my shovel and hose, preventing disaster. Firefighters said, "We need you. Consider joining our hotshot crew." Thus began my Santa Barbara County fire career. The satisfaction of helping others drove me, knowing I could make a difference in emergencies. Teaching, social work, and nursing all showed me that I wanted to help others. During the 1994 Santa Barbara County flu outbreak, we answered calls from neighbors worried about absent residents. We found her critically unwell in a rear bedroom after forcing access. We arrived, and she was relieved as I adjusted her breathing mask. However, her warm breath was oppressive. I told medics this isn't going to end well. Everyone knew the situation was terrible. I developed a racing heart, high fever, nausea, and vomiting within hours. My IROM-proven health seemed irrelevant. Medical personnel brought me to the hospital after I called for help. Despite drinking several lighters, the nurse insisted that I stay until the doctor assessed me, saying, "You arrived by ambulance, and the doctor hasn't seen you yet." This drug was recommended for everyone. Their supplies included synthetic morphine Nuvain. Its abrupt arrival hit a fragile system like a knockout strike. The situation developed swiftly. Everyone went inside when the bells rung. They couldn't take a reading since the blood pressure was 40/0. I was immediately taken to ITU. The nighttime awareness that I had left my body was shocking. As I flew above the universe, stars of all colors and sizes danced before me. I felt like I had become a huge, buoyant balloon liberated from a dark cupboard. It was intoxicating, like honey streaming through my head and nerves, wrapping me in absolute joy. The excitement and acceptance were palpable. I felt like I was home, euphoric, and beautiful. Knowledge came to me like the universe pre-programmed it. Similar to how microfilm projected pages quickly, any topic prompted a torrent of answers. Information came at light speed, and time revealed the complete human story. Everything seemed conceivable here. During this pleasure, I realized how I had been so attached to Bill. It appeared like my individuality, connections, and preferences vanished. I felt like a character in a vast simulation meant to awaken and embrace our true selves with love, compassion, and tolerance. It was amazing and felt like coming home. But then I was back on solid ground facing three little, masked people. They were soothing and delighted to see me. They asked me curiously, "How was it? You see anything? What did you learn?" They laughed more when they saw I was confused. One laughed, "He doesn't remember us," and the others laughed too. A lofty, ethereal form resembled a vortex. His wide grin showed enormous joy as he moved, his figure fragmenting and reassembling. His devotion made me feel a knot in my throat and tightness in my chest, almost causing tears. Our forefathers called such beings angels, guides, and helpers, who reside beyond our physical reality and change our perceptions. A higher power was felt in this interaction. I asked, "Is this my life story?" I felt pressure, possibly from my fire captain days, and thought, "Okay, there's a procedure. Let's work." The tall, ethereal figure laughed, his wispy form shaking. After gathering himself, he said, "All right, let's proceed with that." This was more of a vivid demonstration of our complex circumstance than a study of existence. I told stories about jobs I regretted but had no serious regrets. He said, "All right, that's enough," with a laugh to calm down. "Return immediately," he ordered. Totally stunned, I argued, "Return? Are you serious? Not returning." He insisted, "No, you must return." My resistance was strong. Returning seemed useless. I had no dread of my current state or what lay ahead, and I felt there was more to explore. "You won't miss me much," I said. "My family and wife will survive a few weeks. They're tough." "Listen," he began, "you're back. Your duties are important and require you." I saw him disappear as the room disintegrated. I fell abruptly from that liminal realm into the dark void below. Returning to my body was sudden. I woke up as the automated blood pressure cuff tightened. Each pump activation elevated my blood pressure, but I stayed aware as the temperature reached the 70s, probably 70 degrees above 40. A passing nurse saw my tiny face staring at her. "You're awake," she exclaimed, amazed. Simple answer, "Yes, I am." She said, "I must notify the doctor immediately. We're worried." "All right, tell the doctor, but why am I back here?" I was confused. "I was home," I said. "I was deeply connected to my closest friends. How did I return here?" It was obvious I was frustrated. I was built on, and returning to this body seemed like hiding my true nature. I'd returned to Leighton. An elderly gum-chewing nurse stated, "Darling, you dropped out of escrow and are back with us. That must be understood." I felt down for days, not clinically depressed, just sad. I saw that celestial domain, that liminal place, and knew I had to stay. This was a huge subject when I returned to work. When somebody said, "We heard about what happened to you in the hospital," I said, "Yes, that's true." I invited them to sit and share my experience, passionate about sharing the other side. I told the story for a week or two until a coworker said, "You might want to hold off on that story. They're talking about you in the chief's office." I reluctantly put the story on hold for 15 years. I stewed about the encounter. Not forgotten or disregarded. After retiring, the recollection returned, anxious to be shared. As a spiritual person, I felt a subtle whisper calling me to Central America. Find shamans and learn Native American wisdom. The Mayans and other lost societies have profound insights into our place in the world and our purpose. I was advised to retreat to quieter, less technologically saturated areas without Wi-Fi or routers. These peaceful places allow the spirit to interact. Most of us rarely attain the silence and meditative calm needed to open ourselves to new spiritual experiences. Pluto and other distant celestial entities are unnecessary. Everything we need is nearby. We are guided to raise our vibration as the Sun, Great Spirit, and Source Energy reveal the truth. Earth, known as the School of Hard Knocks, teaches us via joy and hardship. We accepted major difficulties, like tsunamis in our lives. Our mission is to pick a higher frequency and practice unconditional love in all circumstances. New opportunities await us now. You decide, will you let tiny irritations like a tailgating driver annoy you or stay calm? Ultimately, your choice. The ego's material worries and self-importance can overwhelm us. Every situation requires kindness, patience, and compassion. Our dogs, loved ones, and ancestors watch us and cheer for us to make spiritually growth-promoting choices. Only embracing spiritual progress is our goal. Once we act out of love, compassion, and true care for others, we may move on. As the universe expands, we are being trained to co-create with divine purpose.